Topping this week's cattle industry news, it's a debate as old as our nation. How tightly should the federal government regulate how you and I go about our lives and conduct our business? Bringing this issue sharply into focus for the cattle industry is the USDA's proposed GIPSA rules regulating livestock marketing and aiming to have the federal government step in to ensure, quote, fair competition for producers. Last week, we shared with you some of the Obama administration's views on the issue. This time, we hear from two individuals who attended the recent public forum on livestock marketing at Colorado State University and who are concerned about how the GIPSA rules would impact the U.S. cattle industry.
Number one, when I read the Farm Bill requirement of what GIPSA was asked to do, it seemed to me to be pretty narrow and focused a lot on poultry and pork in terms of defining exactly what are some of these issues with production contracts. And then when the rule came out, it's not just production contracts and poultry or pork, it's flung very far afield in terms of all the other types of contracts that are used by the beef industry, the pork industry, in particular marketing contracts, which are not production contracts.
GIPSA, the proposed rule regulations, because they are so vague, and as I heard today and I thought was so appropriate, a new standard of conduct with language that is very vague. And so that means that it will be dependent upon case law and litigation and government intervention to actually determine the details of the rule. And that's where we really see industry pulling back and not wanting to continue to pay for premiums that they've done for in the last 25 years. And so that again becomes a concern.
One of the troubling things for me is I've done a good bit of research on this topic, and that tact taken by the rule, that underlying premise that the rule works on, isn't really supported by what we know from research. The research tells pretty clearly that the packing industry, while we may not like the small number of players, it's very competitive. It's a very competitive business. There's excess capacity in that business. And they pay very competitive prices for beef. We don't see what's referred to as monopoly behavior.
Ideally, we'd like the rule to be pulled and then really take a hard look at, what are the real problems. There's been significant study, the study that Dr. Kuntz did. There's been significant study. Take all of that information, and if there are pieces, such as the arbitration piece, which we support, that piece, then really take that and be specific with that. But don't make broad, overreaching regulations that will, in the end, hurt the industry, take away that incentive for the small and medium producers to receive a premium price for a premium product.
The bottom line is that is going to increase the cost associated with doing business in the packing industry. And increasing the cost in the packing industry is going to impact consumers. Those higher costs simply get passed back into lower prices for cattle and higher prices for beef to consumers.
No doubt, for many producers, price premiums for adding value to their cattle have been a major benefit and have helped increase U.S. beef quality. These are marketing opportunities NCBA believes will be harmed or eliminated by the GIPSA rules as they stand. Now, the opportunity to comment on the proposed GIPSA rules have been extended until November 22nd, so there's still time to turn the tide on these changes that will put in place stricter government oversight of how you market your cattle. This is the time for cattle producers to be heard on the GIPSA issue. Write or call your member of Congress, join NCBA in the fight, and find out more about GIPSA by visiting our website at cattlemen2cattlemen.org.